When you picture Oxford today, you likely imagine towering stone spires and prestigious libraries. Before the Saxons, this site was a practical, muddy shallow where two rivers met. It functioned as a ford for oxen to wade through. Permanent settlement began in the 8th century. A Saxon princess named Frydiswide established a small monastery near the river, choosing a religious life over an arranged marriage. Today, the intricate stone vaults of Christ Church Cathedral stand on the exact site of her original priory. By 911 AD, Viking forces divided England. King Edward transformed the crossing into a fortified town, placing it directly on the frontier line between the Saxon kingdom of Wessex and Viking territories. That tension eventually broke. In 1002, King Ethelred ordered the St. Brice's Day Massacre, an execution of Danish settlers across England. In Oxford, a group of Danes fled into Frydiswide's church for safety. The locals set the building on fire, killing everyone inside. The town originated as a site of defense and survival. Its earliest identity was defined by military fortification rather than scholarly debate. William the Conqueror arrived in 1066, and the city surrendered without a fight. Despite the surrender, William moved quickly to assert permanent dominance over the region. Within 2 years, he ordered the construction of Oxford Castle. Its massive stone masonry and barred windows enforced Norman law and signaled the permanence of the new regime to the population. During a 12th century civil war known as the Anarchy, the castle became a trap. The Anarchy was a decade-long conflict over who had the right to the English throne. Besieged for months, Empress Matilda dressed in a white cloak and slipped over the walls, escaping across the frozen river of a cover of night. By the late 1100s, Oxford was characterized by heavy stone walls and royal sieges. It remained a landscape defined by military occupation. Change arrived in 1167 through a political dispute. When English students were banned from the University of Paris, hundreds of scholars migrated to Oxford, seeking a new home with established religious connections. As the population of scholars grew throughout the 13th century, they established colleges. These were self-contained, permanently funded communities designed to house and support students. This new academic population caused immediate friction with the locals. In 1209, a dispute led to the execution of several scholars, causing a large group of academics to flee the city and establish a rival center of learning in Cambridge. The remaining scholars barely survived the middle of the next century. In 1349, the Black Death reached the city, killing a significant portion of the population and bringing the university to the edge of collapse. Class tensions exploded again in 1355 during the St. Scholastica's Day riot. A tavern argument over wine quality escalated into a 3-day street war between students and townspeople that left dozens dead. The university's survival required scholars to endure both the devastation of the plague and violent internal conflicts with the town's residents. The crown disrupted this stability in the 16th century. King Henry VIII broke from the Catholic Church and ordered the destruction of Oxford's ancient monasteries, shattering the university's religious foundations. Ideological shifts remained violent under Mary I. During her reign, Protestant leaders were brought to the city and burned alive in the public streets. The city returned to a military state in 1642. During the English Civil War, King Charles I commandeered Oxford as his royal capital. Academic life paused as students were drafted into the conflict. The colleges functioned as weapons depots and military barracks for the king's forces. Despite centuries of academic growth, the physical reality of the city was still dictated by the needs of the crown and the violence of war. After the Civil War, the government ordered the removal of Oxford's military defenses. The stone walls that had protected and confined the city for centuries were systematically dismantled. The 19th century brought rapid industrialization. Canals and railways, symbolized by the massive Iron Duke steam locomotive, connected the city to the wider world and its growing industrial workforce. The university itself began to open its doors. It slowly dismantled traditional restrictions, eventually allowing women to enroll and earn degrees alongside men. Evolution meant tearing down the exclusive traditions that restricted education to a small elite, shifting focus from defense to broader human potential. During the 20th century world wars, colleges functioned as massive hospital wards for wounded soldiers, with nurses operating inside the grand academic buildings. The university's scientific resources were also directed toward medicine. Researchers here isolated and developed penicillin, the first true antibiotic, which saved millions of lives globally. Today, Oxford operates as a global center for research. It continues to face modern challenges, including high costs of living and lingering social divisions. Oxford endured a millennium of slaughter, plague, and siege. It transitioned from a fortified river crossing into a global institution that continues to influence the world.